Welcome to High Desert Highlights. I'm Steele Haugen. That is Peyton Thomas. And tonight, we tip off with conference play.
Yeah, that's right. We have IMC action coming up. But first, one of the most impressive teams so far in the non-conference deal, that's your alma mater, the Madras White Buffaloes.
Yes, absolutely. A fantastic start, especially at the beginning of the season. They actually lost today at State in an unfortunate loss to a good Crook County team. But they're, I believe, have 10, 12 wins under their belt so far.
Yeah, maybe 11 by now. They're 4th in 4A. Let's head to Bend High for our game of the week. The Lava Bears hosting Madras on Tuesday, and it's Madras out of the gate with the early lead. Suppa Scott laying it in to start it. He had a great night. Then Keelan Allen knocks it down from the wing. How about that jumper? Smooth as butter. Next possession, getting the steal. Madras back in possession, and they break out down the floor. Now, the first attempt here is missed, but this is what makes this Madras team so good. Look at all of the players still sticking with this possession, staying with the ball. Second chance points right back into Suppa Scott. Then Ben starts to get it started. Freshman Loke Hayes finds his way to the outside and gets the three. He knocks it down. On the other end, Troy Adams with the floater right at the buzzer to cap off a great first quarter for Madras. Into the second, Bend has some work to do. Lava Bears out to Max Duncan, and Duncan with the triple. Into the second half now, check out this ball movement from the Lava Bears. Everyone on this possession getting a piece of the basketball, at least it feels that way, and this is where Bend is at their best, spreading the floor, spacing it around. That gives Max Duncan the chance to slash inside for the pair.
And when you move the ball around, it gets you those easy baskets.
Duncan to Hayes, that's three. Madras seems to have an answer for Bend all night, though. You can't give Allen that much space. He hits a triple of his own. Into the fourth, Lava Bears playing catch-up. The steal right there helps. Lincoln Neiman wins the race to the hoop and lays it in for two. Bend down 4 with 50 seconds to go. Desperately needs some points. Cooper Jimenez gets the ball on the far side, and it's going to be him to dribble over to the side and try, no good. He gets a second chance at it. That one also no good. Madras gets the rebound. Suppa Scott hauls it in. They're forced to foul. Madras gets the win in Lava Bear territory. Comes out with the win, 59-52.
Big win for the Buffs. Now let's head over to Lava Bear country, where tonight Ben hosted the Crook County Cowboys. First quarter, 6'10" big man Bryce Lowenbach gets the ball down low, triple team, but it doesn't matter. Great reverse inbounds play leads to an easy bucket by Spencer Dildin, and the Bears are up 4-2. But look at this, Lowenbach showing off the range, doing it both sides of the court. And look at the block. Wow.
He just does it all. He's like the five-tool player in baseball. Every part of the game, and seems like he's mastered.
Now he does it from the deep again, and Lowenbach had 12 of the first 13 points of the game for the Cowboys. Look at that play. Start of the second quarter. Oh, my goodness.
Best alley-oop I've seen on the high desert in a long time right there. Ooh. Get up, Twig.
Then you know what they say. Defense leads to some offense, and it's an and one. Count the bucket for the big fella. Lava Bears still battling. Max Duncan with the bucket and the foul. Both teams, now they trade off with some three-pointers. This is Graham O'Gorman for the Cowboys, and freshman Loke Hayes from downtown. Second half now, Hoyt Kudelak finds Lowenbach, who just throws it down.
With a little power, a little anger on the end of that dunk.
All right, and Dildine, he is ready for the spin over the big man. Goodness gracious, Twig from the corner. He can dunk, he can hit threes. Max Duncan and one. He really kept him in this game until he fouled out. This is the end of the third quarter. Ryan Quinn, he gets the buzzer and the beater right before the end of the half, but it doesn't make much of a difference because the Cowboys had a huge lead. They moved to 13-0 overall, and they take down the Lava Bears 79-55.
13-0. That's about as good as you could ask for the start.
Absolutely perfect. All right, now we're heading to Ridgeview, hosting Mountain View. That's Charlie O'Connell. He hits a three and getting things going in the second quarter. Gavin Lunan drives, and look at this footwork, Peyton.
He's just so smooth on the inside. He's got 3 defenders on him, working against the triple team, 1-on-3.
Now it's O'Connell again for Mountain View. Find some room, leave no space because he's going to hit it. And that's quickly matched by Austin Markham for Ridgeview. Now Drew Molenberg, he drives to the baseline, and he gets that to go. But guess who? O'Connell connects again, keeping the Cougs in this game. This is right before the half, Peyton. Isaiah Howells throws it up. It's open. Banks are open on Fridays, I think so. Now Ravens take a 22-18 lead, second half. Both teams coming out on fire. That was Chase Swanberg, knocks it down for the Ravens. Then Mullenberg. Then here's Zane Miracle. That matches it for the Cougs. Now Lunan with the drive and the foul. Count it. But he misses the free throw. Offensive rebound. This goes out to Austin Markham. And a bang. That's good. Now it's brother Ashton Markham with a nice little mid-range.
Don't get him confused.
No, I got him confused. Fast break. Lunan. Whoa! Two-hand slam at Jamma Peyton. I did not see that.
Yeah, Lunan can get up. He's got the height and the size, but he's got the hops too.
And listen to this. After Ridgeview scored 22 points in the entire first half, Peyton, they scored 22 points in the third quarter alone, which helped them give a big win, 64-38.
Yeah, both these teams really starting to find their stride, figure out who they are. But both of them can shoot, so on a good night, it can turn out really well. Did for Ridgeview tonight. Here's our 5A boys IMC scoreboard. Crook County staying perfect, certainly the story of the year. Summit Storm, the defending champs, also looking good so far. And Steele, let's take a look at our IMC standings for the first time this year, and it's Crook County and Summit at the top of the standings. We expect it to maybe stay that way for a lot of the year.
Yeah, well, we kind of thought Summit would be up there. It's Crook County 13-0, perfect start. Setting the league going from 4A to 5A. Why not set the tone early, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you take the step up. If you're playing as good as Crook County is playing so far, they're still perfect. Moving over to the girls' side of the story. This year, it's all about the Redmond Panthers. Just one loss so far this year, but the Summit Storm haven't been too far behind. They're 8-4, trying to get an upset win over the 5A leaders, but it's Redmond who gets things started. Addison Ring on the wing over for Cody Kimball off the wing. Panthers too strong defensively too. Freya Snow strips the ball. They take off up the floor, and it's Kimball again with the lay-in. Redmond really feeling it early in this game. Pull-up three for Mylena Norton. She was a standout player last year. Perfect on that one. Offensive rebound back out to Kimball. Hot hand stays hot. Redmond up 13 into the second quarter, and things kind of stay the same after the break. Norton takes the contact, finishes through it, and has no trouble converting that and one.
And Mylena Norton, she can do it everywhere. She really controls the pace for the Panthers.
Things still not working offensively for Summit. Another turnover. Kimball goes to the rack at half. This one a blowout. 38-13 Panthers into the third. Summit has to get something going. Senior Lucy's Cross says, I can do that. 3 balls. Good there. Next possession, it's Cross picking up the miss. She gets the lay-in. And then a couple possessions later, again, Cross driving off the wing up against a couple defenders, lays it in, plus the contact. Suddenly, Storm have some momentum.
Here comes Summit.
Yep, later in the quarter, Kaylin Chris, stop, pop, mid-range jumpers in. Summit back in transition here, and it's Chris again, running up the floor, kind of an overlap there, inside, plus the foul. And then to end the quarter, Chris again. Take a look at this play. She's on the defensive side, gets the block, then the steal, and she's going to do it herself, taking it coast to coast. Turnaround, J fade, it doesn't matter. It's perfect. Suddenly, Summit cut that lead to just 11 with 8 to play. Into the fourth quarter, Redmond regroups. Snow, that's good for 3. Then they build on the lead. Kimball cuts inside. The floater's good. Redmond ride out a really strong first half to the final whistle. 56-44 Panthers on the road over Summit. Let's take a look at our girls IMC scoreboard tonight. Other games happening around here. Mountain View over Ridgeview. Bend over Crook County. Steele, what do you see?
Well, that Bend over Crook County was a great win for the Lava Bears. And Mountain View Cougars, they really need to establish who's going to be that third place in the IMC. Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. If Redmond and Summit are those 2 top teams, every one of these other games matter.
But that team that's in third likely makes the playoffs this year, and
absolutely,
you never know what can happen from there. So let's take a look at the 5A girls standings. Story of the year, like we said, the Redmond Panthers, just so athletic across the board, dominant so far.
It's Redmond, but it's the Lava Bears coming in second right now, starting off 1-0 in the IMC. It's good for the Bend to, start off strong.
All right, good to see some conference league play out there too. Okay, top plays in a future game to look forward to coming up after the break.
Welcome back. You're just in time for my favorite segment of the whole night, maybe the whole week. I don't know. It is time for our top plays. So let's go back to Bend High School, where they were hosting the Crook County Cowboys. And look at this play, Peyton. Now, this is right as the second quarter started. You knew this is one of those plays that was drawn up, that everyone had a big grin on their face, that worked in practice.
Oh, yeah.
A back screen after you reverse the ball. I mean, this is just perfect.
And Twig's just such a fun player to watch. Electric on both sides of the floor. And he gets up here. This is a team that's in sync, playing well, and rolling so far. That sums up their season so far. All right, let's go out to Summit, because the Storm lost tonight, but it was a standout performance for Kaylin Christ. And this is a play where she gets a block, a steal, and a buzzer beater, all in the span of about 10 seconds, just doing it herself, creating that space and knocking down the shot.
Plus making the highlight reel. That was an impressive play.
All right, let's take a look at a game we have our eye on next week, and it didn't take too long to find this one. It's Summit at Crook County, boys. This one going on next Friday in Steele. These are the two teams at the top of the IMC.
I mean, Summit played for the state title just last year. Crook County now the #1 team in the state. It doesn't get much better than this.
No, it doesn't. Hard to believe Crook County in 4A last year, they finished 4th, so made the state tournament. Summit making the title game, but it just feels like both these teams may have got even better in the course of the offseason, and this is just a heavyweight matchup that we have coming up on Friday.
Absolutely, and this will see who's one of those top dogs, as well as kind of the confidence going into the rest of the league play.
Now let's take a look at the 5A boys standings, if we can, for the IMC, because Steele, these two teams on top, but there's a few others, both Ridgeview and Caldera. Caldera, great year last year. Ridgeview really coming into their own that could make a charge.
Yeah, and it's that Ridgeview right here, and then Ben with the loss. Those two teams are the teams you should maybe look out for that third spot. They're going to be competing, but the IMC has got a slew of good teams, so you never know.
And I think Crook County Summit, two teams you're going to be looking for at the end of the year when it comes playoff time next Friday. We'll have a good idea at where they stand. We'll see you then with that game and others here on High Desert Highlights.
Can't wait.